Welcome to the Everyday Magic Podcast. I'm Anya Rock.
And I'm Dr. Sophia Trivena.
We've been best friends for 25 years, united by the belief that no matter what life throws at us, we can always find the magic. Join us every week as we dive into our most intimate conversations about sex, money, intuition, and building our company, Sofanya, a merger of our names and the best of us. Hi, Goddess.
Hi, Goddess.
Welcome back.
So exciting to be back. We have so many updates on the most interesting stuff.
In the bloom of summer. We are in the bloom of summer.
And we are in the full moon phase as well. Mm-hmm. So those two things match up for activation, manifestation, things really happening and blooming.
And in the Lionsgate.
Yes. And so Lionsgate happens every August 8th, and it is a powerful time that goes all the way back to Egypt. And it goes from July 28th until around August 12th, but the height of it is August 8th. And it's when a portal is opened. There's actually an astrological alignment between the Earth, the Sun, Sirius, and Orion. And essentially what's believed is that this is a time of cleansing because this is when the Nile would flood in Egypt, which was important for life. And so there's this nourishment and abundance, but that is also cleansing. So it's nourishing and cleansing at the same time on a magnified level.
And interestingly, I saw someone post that today was a really important day.
The day that we're filming right now. I did not see that. I wonder what it is.
Have to look back, but I just remember that it was important today. There was big energy today.
Yes. I feel it right now as you talk about it. Can I just ask the angels what it is?
Sure.
Yeah. It's a floodgate is opened. I see the Nile flooding right now, and I see the flooding beginning today and it peaking on Friday. Yeah. Do we want to just use intuition right now and then tune in what's flooding for us? What's rising?
I mean, we know a few things that are rising.
Sure. Intuition first or what we already know first?
Let's go intuition.
Okay. So let's both tune in. And since our last episode, which was on a new moon, and this is the full moon, we don't usually record 2 weeks apart like this, but it just happens to align so well. And we used intuition to look into the new moon information. Why don't we use intuition to look into this full moon plus the beginning of the abundance flooding?
Okay.
Find out what's happening. May I go first?
Sure.
Okay. I saw a man holding your hand while you twirled all around. And so you were both moving around the dance floor with you just continually twirling, but him guiding you and directing you and giving you center. You were like a swirling Sufi dervish in that you got to surrender. I mean, this is a sacred ritual practice. It's ancient where people twirl to lose themselves and be free. And I saw that. And then I saw myself with a man that was doing similar, except I was doing something slightly different, which I was twirling and then leaping, almost the splits in the air, and then twirling and then leaping. And I was like, why are we doing two different things? And, you know, with intuition, I always say that when you get a visual, the more you tune into it, the more information you get. So when there's a prominent feature, such as you're continually twirling and I'm leaping, it's the feature to tune into. And when I went into yours, that's when I really got that surrender that you get to have with no thought of anything but surrender. And I got for me that when I leap in the air, he's beholding me. So when I leap in the air, he's beholding me and I'm getting to be seen. So you're getting to surrender and I'm really being seen and being celebrated.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I just felt like you've never been with a man who can hold you in your full surrender. And I've never been fully seen by a man. So that's what I got.
Ooh,
yeah, it's juicy, right? Yeah. What'd you get?
I saw, just being like in so much play. I saw play for both of us that were just like, I think the other day we saw the bud, and when we tuned in, I was at my house, you were here, and we tuned into something, and it was like this tiny little bud, and it was like the bud bursting.
Right.
Play, fun, summer, like being taken on dates, enjoying. And I just saw like all of the places, it felt like things, the dam, like things that were so tight, finally just like the flow happening again.
Oh, like the Nile rising?
Yeah, kind of like that. And it came from a sense of play and like erotic and just being in the juiciness of life.
The goddess expression.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel that exactly. And I feel like that very much translates to our updates on our dating and sexcapades.
Yes.
I think it's time to share what's been happening.
Tuning in.
Who wants to go first?
I don't know. Do you want to share? You've got some big updates.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know where we left off in
I know.
sharing, but I'm just going to summarize the last few months, which, you know, in the wake of me making some pretty big decisions around what was important to me and what I was going to be willing to let go in terms of what's not aligned, what was left was this open field that said, I will only accept what is aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And what showed up was profound
Mm-hmm.
in that it was just a number of men very interested, asking me out, taking me on dates, and me dating more than one man at one time for the first time ever. And, you know, the synchronicities and the alignment were beyond astounding. Like you get one of these once in a while, or maybe once every few
Mm-hmm.
years. I mean, there was 3 at once.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them said to me, you know, I was like, do you have any sort of, you know, type? I don't know why we said this. Oh, he said something. I remember what it was. He said to me, how tall are you, by the way? And I said 5'4". And he said, every woman I've dated with is under 5'6", and I'm 6'1". And I said, oh, fascinating. I said, do you actually have a type? And he said, no, of course not. It's just an irony. And I just thought it might be a sign that, you know, what I'm feeling for you is real. And I said, okay, what are you feeling? And he's like, that this could be partnership, like from the instant second I saw you. And I was like, fascinating. And he said, oh, wait a minute. I do actually have a type, but you're going to laugh. And I was like, what is it? And he said, I date professors. I'm like, really? And I said, for example, and he said, like, you know, in neuroscience. And I said, you know, I'm a professor studying neuroscience right now. So that was one, right?
Right.
And then another one, we met down in Marina Del Rey, and we had a nice coffee lunch date that was beautiful and so resonant and connected. And we walk, he's like, I'd love to show you my boat. It's just a couple blocks away. I'm like, great. So we're walking, and he said, oh, by the way, that's my car. And he said, it's named Sophia. And I said, oh, that's hilarious. Wow, great name. And then he said, oh, and there's my boat, Trivena. And I started laughing. And he said, why are you laughing? And I said, Trivena. And he said, oh, yes, goddess of the sea. And I said, I've never heard that. And I look it up on my phone, and literally my last name with one N means goddess of the sea. And I said, that's so fascinating. I thought you were joking. And he said, why? And I said, wait a minute, do you know my last name? And he said, no. And I said, let me give you my business card. And he looks at it. He's like, my car is named after your first name and my boat is your last name. And I said, yes. So these are the types of synchronicities that were happening a lot. I went on the journey with all of them. We all found the ways that we were non-resonant, and it all faded away. And so then all of a sudden it was blank slate again. And it was like, wow, these profound connections all showed up, and I went on a few date journey with them, pretty deep, and they all went away. Why? And then I went back online to our favorite app, The Field, and instantly connected with someone. And this was just a couple of days ago. And he says, oh, wow, you're actually down in this other area of town. I remember seeing you before, and you don't live in this area of town. I said, I'm down here for a birthday party. And he said, I'm you know, a couple blocks away from you. Do you want to come meet me and my friends? And so I go to meet him, and it's instant connection. I meet all of his friends. We hang out. We have a great time. And we've been hanging out ever since. But the fascinating thing is that every single man I dated, and a lot of things you and I've been talking about, and I've been watching you learn, all mattered with this one person I'm now connected with. Every single thing from, you know, the one that said he dates professors, he is living in a temporary place looking for his permanent place right now. And I was a bit turned off of that because I was like, oh, it feels so transient, especially in LA. But I got over that and realized it wasn't important. This man is in the same situation, but I didn't even have to go on that journey because I already went on it with that other man. And a whole bunch of things that could sort of be something I have to get through to really connect with him, I already took care of it in all the other connections. So it's like they were all preparing me for a bigger connection.
Yeah.
So that's my update.
Beautiful.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
And I finally understand, like, why is this flurry of happenings occurring that aren't actually leading to partnership in this with any one of them, yet each one of them was deep enough for me to get a message that allowed me to deeply connect with this person without having a whole bunch of crunchy journeys to go on.
Right. And fascinatingly, you went on, it was fun to watch because you're like on the field where I think people assume it's just sex forward and hookups. And almost everyone that you were connecting with was like, I'm looking for partnership.
You're the one.
And you have been like I'm looking for partnership. And for the first time, you were like, I think I'm going to date all of you.
Yes. Well, the fascinating thing is that one would appear and the other would disappear. So one would be, we would talk for 2 days and the other one would disappear for 2 days. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm connecting with him. And then he would disappear and the other one would show up. Literally, one would go radio silent for 2 or 3 days while the other came in really, really strong. And then they would disappear and come back and they'd say work got really busy or I had to go out of town last minute. But it wasn't for anything except for, and they were saying, I really want to be pursuing and connecting with only you. And I was saying, I'm not ready for that. First time I've ever said that to men that say, I am ready.
Right.
I was like, I'm not. And one thing I couldn't deny, and I said to the one that dates professors, I said, this is the first time in my life I'm actually being connected with enough, and it's taking all three of you. And until one of you connects, right? Until one of you connects with me for my entire bandwidth to be fulfilled, then I can't be exclusive to you. I have this bandwidth that needs to be met.
Right.
And until one person can do that, I'm going to date enough people for that. And so I had
need to underline this. Like this might be a thing, right? Being fulfilled as the gold standard. And then whether that takes one person or multiple people, it's about having your intimacy needs fulfilled.
I've been having revelations around this incredibly because the way that society has set up relationships is that a woman goes into this committed journey with someone, but it doesn't matter how much her fulfillment gets nourished. It's more so what sacrifices she makes to stay in that one person situation. And that's the virtue and the value of a woman, the patience, the ability to entertain herself if he's not available. And this is a whole new notion, which is my fulfillment is the meter for engagement. And it's not about the recipe that society's given us. There's something hugely profound here. And it's causing even me, who's been single and more devoted to my self-pleasure most of my life, more so than most, I'm still having to deconstruct and decode and deprogram patriarchal programming that real virtuous dating is with only one person. Until they earn that, this is something we've been talking about, unearned intimacy. They want unearned intimacy. Like, give me your exclusivity. And I'm like, I'm only going to give that if I'm totally fulfilled. And they're like,
if you've earned it. I mean, there is also someone can come into our life and be like, you're amazing and I want you to be my person. And I've known you for 2 weeks. You haven't earned that place in my life yet.
So interestingly, for me, time is not a thing because I've traveled the world and I almost exclusively have profound connections that don't deepen with time. They are what they are from the moment we meet each other. So I will meet a woman in Bali and we sit on the, first dance floor we go to, we can't leave each other. That's what actually happened. We went to an ecstatic dance and we just kept ending up near each other. We talked afterwards. We traveled for 6 weeks together, did not leave each other's side. And we were both processing breakups. We just went through. We wanted to do the same things. We were both coaches globally. And so I go deep fast, but it's not fake. It's not real. So for me in dating, almost everyone I'm with, we have a pretty profound connection. What isn't earned is the exclusivity.
Which is a form of intimacy.
Yes. And it doesn't take time for me to get that. Basically, these 3 men came in and no one in the whole couple months journey of the 3 of them ever came in stronger or deeper or different. And this man, who I've only known for a few days, is filling my entire bandwidth instantly and continues to do so. So it's just fascinating. I don't know that it's time that does that.
Right.
It's bandwidth filling that does that. And most of my experiences are it shows itself immediately. But that's me because I'm mostly connecting on a soul level with everyone from the beginning. I know it's not the same for everyone. But so one last thing that comes to me right now is that we talked in a previous episode about, it's got to be a couple years now ago, that you showed up at some meeting we were supposed to have, and you were going down, and I said, God is down. We need to do a healing on her. And we did this healing where we removed this grid from you energetically that kept you locked in unfulfilling relationship patterns. And the angels came in at the end, and I don't know if you remember this part, said to you, me, and the other woman that was there, the number one thing the three of us need to do is we need to start asking for fulfillment. And years later, you're just saying the same thing right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if am I fulfilled was the only thing you're asking yourself as a woman constantly.
Right.
Not what duty am I supposed to perform?
Right.
Not what does he expect and am I doing it? But am I fulfilled?
Beautiful.
Yep. I'll go in the direction of that. So
yeah.
I think that's my grand update and my learning thus
Beautiful
far.
update.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll say one last thing. In one of my client journeys, she was dating at a very high level, like higher than by high level, I mean men that were really knocking her socks off, and she had not quite experienced that. So she's like, how do I handle this and not go down the rabbit hole or fall into the waterfall of being so crazy about him, and et cetera, and being so terrified of losing it after dating with, not being satisfied in dating for so long. And now I'm so satisfied, I'm terrified of losing it. Like, so many people can relate to this, right?
Yeah.
And I said, let me ask the angels. And the angels said, he's giving you a record you've never heard before that you love. But if he takes that record away, he's not taking away music. You are the record player. And you can play any record that you want. And that song is going to be unique, but there's 8 billion songs out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think each one of these men, including for me, is like, I think of it now as like the frequency upgrade. Each one is like attuning me to a new frequency, and whether it's 3 days or 3 months or 3 years, it's an upgrade. It's like, oh, I'm experiencing this now.
Yes.
That's what's available to me going forward.
I love this.
And
I've always called it a calibrator. I'm like, I'm not sure what we are, but he's definitely a calibrator. I'm experiencing a new thing I've never felt before. And my system is getting used to that this is possible and that I like it, and I probably can't live without it. And it's almost like every man I've been with gives me a vibration. It's like an instrument in a symphony. One more instrument and one more instrument, and the song gets richer and richer and richer.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, so that's my update. And I feel like this man is beholding me because I saw the image of me leaping and him watching and being like, wow. I mean, he is from a very traditional profession. His ex is from a very traditional profession where she's very successful. And so he's been in a bit more of a mainstream world than me. And when I talked about being an angelic guide, and a intuitive business strategist, and he asked me a bunch of questions, and I explained from my heart, and I was like, well, here's my thing. He's either going to be like, that's crazy, I'm out of here. Or he's going to be like, I'm all into this, and I have no idea which way it's going to go. It could be a deal breaker. And what he did is he closed his eyes and he said, wow. And I said, I need to know what that eye closing check inside wow was. And he said, okay, let me try to say this as clearly as I can. What you're doing is really important, and it's going to grow what it's all about because you're leading it. And I almost started crying. I literally just jumped and wrapped my arms around him. I'm like, that is the single best, I don't know, reflection, integration. Like, I can be with a man for life who says something like that. Like, I don't know if he's that person, but
again, it's a calibration to what's possible.
I've never heard someone say that. I've never heard someone say, I love being with professors, right? That's also been a thing that has turned men off. And here's this man saying, not only does it not turn me off, it's what I naturally end up resonating with, right? So a lot of my things that have been deal breakers with other men, all these men are saying, it's not a problem, it's a virtue. It's not a turnoff, it's an attraction. The essence of me that have been a problem with so many men in the past. So that's exciting.
You think you've changed. And so I've
changed in that all the places in my life, including the closest intimacy to me with past friends and family members that did not feel that way about me, I have said to all of them directly, I don't want this energy in my life.
Right.
And what's resulted is that energy is not in my life in the new men that are showing up. I didn't do it for that reason.
Right.
But having been dating for a long time, I can't help but notice, the field changed because I made that choice. I didn't make that choice to do that, but it's the result. Me choosing that, this isn't allowed here. This isn't allowed in my world, even from you who I love so much. Me saying that over and over and over again to multiple people who are close to me and letting them go. I cannot deny that who is coming in is saying to me exactly what you are is what I like and celebrate and want. First time ever to that degree.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Congrats, Goddess.
Thanks, Goddess. We'll celebrate this one. I mean, you've watched this journey for a very long time.
Yes.
So I'm happy to share all of that.
Great.
Okay, what's your dating update?
So much.
Okay.
Well, and I think really, as you were talking, I was thinking too about the last few weeks and even beyond dating, there's been a recognition of coming away, almost like I came out of some experiences and wanted to just be in my own mastery.
Out of some experiences with men.
And in general, like I went to a sound bowl healing and left, which I felt awful doing, but I was there and I was like, this isn't good. It's not where I want to be. I'm going to discern that I'm just going to leave and go home and create my own experience because I have a level of mastery of that is the frequency I need to be in. So I'm not going to be in this lower frequency. I'm going to leave it.
Okay, I'm noticing a theme here. We're both saying, if this isn't resonant, we're retreating to our own world, our own beautiful world, even if it means we're alone.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Which was, I feel like, in the new moon theme. And I've just noticed that a few times in different ways, like choosing, even instead of staying and going to a party, I chose to go to Arrowhead and just rest and be a little more in solitude.
Sure, you have been doing that. Yep.
And then on the field, and same thing, I think I was saying earlier, I'll go through and just be like, I'll check in sometimes and just not resonate with anything, and then check in other times and have a flood of interesting connections. And there was one connection that kind of kept going, and it's turned into a really nice connection off the app, online, like offline.
You've had a number of dates at this point.
Yeah, we're on to date number 5. I think.
This is amazing, Goddess. And I love this because on the new moon, I saw all of a sudden Jay swooping in and giving you a rose and being a big deal.
And you saw someone coming out. My memory of it was that someone was coming out to my other house where I am with the kids and kind of saying, like, pulling me up and saying, come on, let's go. I don't know if that's just my memory of it.
Okay.
And my experience of it, of this dating. And we've been on a couple dates that have been lovely, like just sitting at the bar, talking for 3 hours, connecting by text, and both really open to like, what is this? Being on the journey, no expectation. There's a lot of like connection mentally. We have the same sense of humor. We're having a lot of fun, laugh. And then meeting halfway between our places, which is in Malibu, which is great.
Nice halfway point.
Good on you. Changing again, calibrating to this new story that even when I'm out there, I can be in connection. I think I had a story of being with my kids, being out of connection, being away from the city. I even feel like that sound bowl experience was a bit of a like, oh, it's not that LA is better. Actually, what I have attracts what I need. That I can magnetize no matter where I am. If I'm in the country, if I'm in the city, and when I'm in that frequency, I'm attracting the right experiences to me.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And I have.
Oh my gosh, I'm watching you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, we've had lovely dates. It's been so beautiful. And we joke like, if we get to the next one, maybe we'll do this. And like, if this goes well, what do you think about,
fun.
The next adventure? Or what?
Oh, fun.
It's been really fun.
Yes.
And what I've noticed is I love being in this frequency for myself, this kind of connection, because it sends energy out into every other part of my life.
Right.
And I am navigating this differently. I'm feeling in my body differently about it. I'm just... really enjoying it.
I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I feel like what I've been observing in you is a rise in unapologetically being in a frequency and who's going to meet you there versus a lot of marital mothering training, which is how do I meet you and what you need.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful is that the men we're attracting from this place are also getting the same nourishment because we are exactly what they were calling in.
Yeah.
Like they are what we are calling in and we are what they were calling in. So it's like everyone is shoulder to shoulder looking at this blank canvas of intimacy.
Yeah.
Going, okay, this is amazing. And I would say that for this, we're days into this. For the first time ever since we've started the single journey side by side in the last few years, we are both dating only one man. And they are the most aligned with possible potential partnership. We're not there yet, but there's no red flags or big no's. It could happen if it keeps going.
And I'm so unattached to the outcome.
Same.
Which I think is also not new, but it's just I kind of watch myself in stories that
if he takes the song away, you don't lose music. Right. Because you are the music.
Yes. And I'm just, my life is full. My experience is full. I know I'm in this new frequency and I'm being met in that frequency. I think one of the chords I put out into the world was I want someone who's additive. I want to be met.
That's right.
I've done all this work. I'm in this frequency. I'm in, coming into myself in my business, in our company, in my expression, in every part of my life.
Absolutely.
And I only want to be with someone romantically who's additive.
Absolutely.
And now having that experience of someone who is spontaneously asking me if I'll meet in Malibu for a sunset makeout session.
Yes. So let's talk about what's different we're both experiencing a connection that's different than all the dating, all the rounds, we've had alone time, which is its own kind of beauty. We've had dating multiple people, which is its own kind of beauty. We've had
pleasure partners,
just sexual partners, like that are, dear friends. And we know that we're together to explore intimacy, and that's it. We're not going to partner. We're not going to meet each other's friends. We're not going to go on extended romantic dates, et cetera, right? So we've had all these different phases. And now we are in this unique phase at the same time within days of each other, where we're both dating these very eligible, beautiful, very engaged, very interested men. What is different about this phase versus all the other phase? Let's go.
Yeah, what is different?
I mean, he's filling all of my bandwidth. I'm not needing another connection.
Same.
He's texting enough. He's reaching out enough. He's setting up dates.
And without my previous experience was someone texting or being in connection because they thought that's what I wanted or needed, whereas I'm experiencing it with someone who it's just his nature.
I have been begging for someone's nature to be
connection, intimacy, capacity. Someone who has as much capacity for intimacy as I do.
Unheard of.
Amazing.
Only each other. That's why we're friends. Yes.
Yeah. And so far, right?
Right.
So
but all we're mining is the first days. Yeah. And I would say I said to Erica, my COO, by the pool a few weeks ago, she was like, I watch you do all this dating. What do you really want? And I was like, morning text, nighttime text, text all in between.
I was like, morning sex, nighttime sex.
Sex all in between.
You take the text, I'll take the sex.
Right. So you can add an S on the front of all of
I'll take both. Both
We're
not always together.
And definitely sexy texting. Yeah.
Yes.
All of this, right? So those types of things. I want dates to look forward to. I want spontaneity. I gave her my list, and I've never experienced any man that really wants to do all of that. I have got what they give me and then made my own fun with girlfriends and myself. And so it's like, they fill up a third of my bandwidth for intimacy. So the other 1/3 I'll do on my own and 1/3 I'll do with other friends and people. And that's how it works, right? Isn't that how it works? And yet when she asked me, I said, my really true desire is that I do have a partner that fills that capacity. And I still have capacity for friendships and everything.
I mean, a woman has infinite capacity for pleasure.
Say more about that.
And so I think the more you have it, the more you'll find it. It's like you can have fulfillment in that flavor of intimacy from your partner, which creates more pleasurable intimacy with friends and work and
Yes.
experiences, right? It's
That's
just
what's
like,
happening.
yeah.
That's what's happening. You know what? That's it.
This is the Nile overflowing.
This is the Nile overflowing. Oh my gosh, for the goddesses on Lionsgate.
Yes.
So here's the thing. When I've been with other people, my intimacy cup is not overflowing.
Mhm.
And I can tell that I'm not fulfilled.
Mhm.
And so then I go, what do I do to be fulfilled? And I go, oh, I'll take myself on a date or I'll be with a friend, right? Now my intimacy cup is overflowing and I am fulfilled by this man. And I actually have more capacity for you and work and other things.
Mhm.
Like, what is it called? A zero-sum game?
Mhm.
I don't know if that's the right term, but it's not that him filling my whole bandwidth for intimacy means I don't have room for intimacy for others. It's actually making my other intimacy richer.
And the more we have intimacy, right? Pleasure and productivity are in our culture at odds with each other.
They've been made so.
They've been made so. And we put productivity first and then intimacy later.
Yes.
But actually, if we put pleasure first, I feel like we're productive with the most aligned things.
Yes.
We're not just doing the to-do list. It's like we have the energy, the capacity, the overflow to do all of the other things.
Absolutely. And I actually just did an entire client session yesterday, literally on how the to-do list is the opposite of life nourishment and living.
It's the opposite of creativity.
Right. And you can do what's on the to-do list in a pleasurable way.
Mhm.
And I told him I don't even get off on doing the check mark beside the thing or crossing it off the list. He's like, he could not believe that. I said, all I do when I check it off the list is remember how wonderful it was to do it. He's like, I don't remember doing it. And I was like, all I do is remember how lovely it was to do that task while I also treated myself to a little coffee and took Leela to a new park in that area. And he's like, whoa. And I was like, and then I cross it off, but I don't get that dopamine hit of crossing it off.
Yeah.
So it's like they're nourishing us fully creates this pleasurable flow that overspills to all the rest of life and makes every task and all the work fun and all the connecting amazing.
Another thing I was reflecting on is that I had, I'm in mom life, in my MILF mode. And on our second date, had a really busy day, like full bandwidth, and actually had a pretty important meeting with my ex-husband about his plans. And just the way the day went, it sort of timed out that I went from that, got changed. My daughter helped me with my makeup while I got ready for my date. She was very excited.
I love that.
So cute. She's love that. Did my makeup. Like, Mom, there's no low-key makeup date. We need to dial this in.
Oh my, I mean,
adorable.
Amazing.
And I drive my 30 minutes, arrive at Malibu for my date. And he asked how the meeting went. And I actually felt like emotional all of a sudden.
Of course.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is not what I want to be talking about on my second date with a new person is this ex-partner. And yet he had the capacity and I just felt totally held and seen in that moment. He was like, I absolutely want to see this part of you. Like, this vulnerability is beautiful. This is the real stuff. And he also has children, also nests. Like, we have a lot of those similar things we're navigating. And that's been a really beautiful experience. But just to be in that moment held by the masculine who wasn't threatened by it or scared by it, or it wasn't too much, or it wasn't anything except exactly what it was, which was just something that needed to pass through. And then we moved on to 2.5 hours of, beautiful conversation.
I love this.
I think for all of the highs and all the buzz of new connection, to really be in that space with a man who can also hold. And I joked, sort of said, as I was wiping my tears away, this is also who I am. Like, I am someone who, if an emotion needs to move through me, I'm going to let it.
Absolutely.
And be with it. And then
that is signature Áine.
Signature.
Yep.
Cancer moon.
Yep.
We're watery. We cry. Feeling the emotions. Yeah.
So I would say that what I'm now realizing in this journey is we're both really responding to these men because they accept the full spectrum of us.
Not just accept, celebrate.
They celebrate. We're with these men and they're drawing our full attention because they celebrate the full spectrum of us.
Right.
They want all that dimensionality. They are showing up consistently. They're keeping in constant connection with us. And they're doing spontaneous dates. They're both driving an hour just to see us for a couple hours repeatedly. They want consistent connection. I would say there's nothing I'm experiencing in him that feels like he's afraid of me or overwhelmed by any part of me. And I've let him know the ones that usually overwhelm men. And so far, so good. So we're having these unique experiences, including both of us calling each other this morning at like 7 a.m. I get this text, "Good morning, goddess." I'm like, "Good morning, goddess." Then the phone rings. And I said, the very first words I said are, "Did we both have to kick men out of our beds last night so we could get enough sleep to film our podcast?"
Yes. I did not get enough sleep, but I slept for less hours than is ideal.
And you're glowing.
I have all the energy I need.
And
I am
you're
definitely
glowing.
Nourished by going into the intimacy portal.
Sure.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And to experience it, to co-create something really beautiful.
I love this. And to just wrap this up, we actually have a decision to make we could maybe make together right now, which is that both of these men live in the same part of town, about 40 minutes away, ironically. Both of them invited us to visit them in their part of town tonight. I said we usually, after the podcast filming, go for dinner, so probably not. But then I found out you had the same invitation, and we were like, or we switch it up, and maybe after podcasting, instead of going out for dinner, just the two of us, maybe we go together to this part of town to see both of them.
Right.
And then the question is,
do we go together?
Do we
double date?
So we wanted to manifest a double date. And
is date number 6 too early to double date?
So here's the question. This is the interesting thing. And I'm on date 4 maybe, so even less than you. So here's the thing is here's the reality. Do we both get in an Uber together or drive together and go to 2 different homes and visit 2 different men and then coordinate coming back together or Uber back separately? Or do we, while we have full hair and makeup and our beautiful outfits, say, "Hey, do you want to spontaneously go on a double date with me and my bestie and her new guy she's dating, just for the fun of us?"
Right.
I think it's a fascinating question. What are you drawn to?
Are you staying the night?
Oh, geez.
We don't know yet. I guess that could be the wild card.
Actually, I mean, when he came last night, he brought an overnight bag. He was like, not to be presumptuous, but last time I stayed here so late that maybe, just in case.
I like a prepared man.
I'm fine with this. And I feel like if I were to say, look, I ended up staying, or I brought stuff to stay over, he would do maybe a visible black backflip. So I think that invitation is on the table. Should I want to take it? Okay. Do you feel drawn to staying over there?
I think that, yeah.
Okay.
I think being a little bit on the tired side would make a lot of sense.
Right. Because driving back I
think we have had a few late nights in a row.
Sure.
So I'm open to that.
Okay. So if we're going to stay over, we have a lot of time. We could do dinner.
Yeah.
Just dinner, the 4 of us, just for fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the important question is less about what we do and this idea of the difference between merging someone into our lives.
Ooh, not ready for that yet.
And like spontaneous double date with a best friend
totally
that
different.
Has less meaning.
Totally different.
Right. What's the difference?
Okay, so the difference to me is if I'm not ready to merge into his world, even though our first date I met all of his friends because they invited me out while they were all out. Oh, and just side note, his friend, they're in their 50s, right? His friend said, "I have an intuition that can pick up anyone's damage or sadness or what they're struggling with." He said instantly. And he's known him for a long time. And so he's like, "This is true." He said, "I can't feel anything from her. There's no damage, there's no struggle, there's no sadness." And I said, my life isn't easy, but I know how to keep myself clean on a daily basis. I feel those emotions. I do my meditation. When it was really hard with my family, for instance, I let myself be in pain for weeks until it moved through.
You've done the work, goddess.
I do the work.
We've both done the work.
We've done the work. Yeah. I basically said to him, I've done the work and I do it real time. And there's stints where I have to do more dense work, but right now I am clean. I've done that. Yeah. So that was an interesting side note. So anyways, I've already met his friends, but it was in the context of, hey, there's this cool woman that I know is amazing. I just want to invite her to hang out with us. And I met all their girlfriends, their friends. So that is one kind of like casual. I'm not merging into his world. The whole thing of like, oh, it's a friend's birthday party and come as my date. Or like, oh, let's, my friends have this tradition that we all get together for dinner, come as my person, is a very different world than, hey, we just both started to date both of you and you happen to live in the same part of town and we look amazing.
Right.
I mean, our hair and makeup is to the T and we have our best outfits on. Hey, why don't we go out for dinner before we disappear into each other, our own journeys? That's very different.
I think it's worth the invitation. I think it's worth the proposal.
Okay. How would you propose it to these? Like, how would you propose it to your guy?
I would say just that. I'd say Sophia has an invitation to go down to that area. And we usually have a ritual of going to dinner afterward, but we thought maybe we'd merge the two. Do you want to do a spontaneous double date?
That sounds so fun. I actually love it because these men may come or go. We are not going to come or go. And we'll always have this double date experience. I've never, the last time we had somewhat of a double date, I don't know that it was that. We were in a car driving from a party to another.
Like, when was our double date?
When we left the sex party and we both had met, we both had friends that were, moving on to the next thing.
It was a double lover.
That was a double car ride.
It's a car ride with the lovers.
Like, long story short, it was a stretch.
We might have been in our 20s the last time we had a double date. And I interestingly
have never had a double date.
I haven't met any of these
men that I've been dating. Yeah, you haven't. Yeah. And, when we did the meditation or we did the intuition on the new moon in our last podcast episode, I saw a man with J in front of his name giving you a single rose. And I thought it was someone that you already knew named Jay. And now it's a different man also starting with Jay. So I saw this man exactly. And I just feel like we have never, I don't remember in our 20s, any time being on a double date together. So I don't know if it happened and we forgot. But I mean, we're now midlife with men in their 50s who are properly courting us and celebrating us as the goddesses we are. I think it would be a really unique experience to be with a man adoring you that way and a man adoring me that way and us getting to be together. I think it's worth the experience.
Great.
Okay. Decided.
We shall propose it.
And we shall share the experience in a future episode.
Yeah.
We will report back.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Stay tuned for the future.
Stay tuned.
Okay, this has been great, Goddess. Love the dating and love
can't
update.
Wait to experience this beautiful Lionsgate. Feel the abundance flooding.
Yes.
It's coming.
Oh, final note is that I have to go to another part of Southern California to meet up with an investor for our company, Sofanya, for a dinner. And I'm getting in a hotel and staying there. And I said, if you'd like to meet me at the hotel, it's, not so far from you. And he said, tell me about what Lionsgate is. And I told him everything we discussed in this episode. And again, him not being a person that would call himself spiritual or et cetera, having no exposure to astrology or any of these things, I don't know what he's going to say about this. And he said, this sounds really important. I have to be there. Of course I'll come. And I was like, oh my God, again. Beautiful. And he texted me today. He said, I keep thinking about Lionsgate and how special it is that I get to be with you on this night. I can't wait. I'm like, with so little information, he's holding on to that as important to me, even though he's never heard of it before, and reorganizing his weekend to make it happen.
I know you inspired me this morning. I was thinking my guy is supposed to go back to his kids on Friday.
Right.
And he actually already rearranged the week to be available to see me this week because we were on opposite weeks, which was lovely and without prompting. But I might just ask if there's a world in which he could be free Friday so we could be together and experience Lionsgate.
Right. It's so different to give a invitation to something that's important to me with no notion, not that I would, but no notion of convincing, etc. And my experience is men go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. What was that thing again? And he's more so, this is so important. I've reorganized everything and I'm going to keep celebrating the gift I have of getting to be with you on it. I'm like, this is so novel and beautiful.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it all unfolds.
Okay.
But we're definitely at a new level that's at a higher frequency and resonance. And we are definitely both in fulfillment right now. And that has taken a ton of work. A ton of work. So I celebrate us.
Celebrate us.
And tonight we'll celebrate us even more.
Yes.
With two.
In a new place.
With the divine masculine, celebrating the divine feminine.
Brothers of the Rose. I keep pulling that card.
Me too. I actually keep pulling the exact same card, Brothers of the Rose. When I ask, what's the meaning of this man? man. I got the brother of the rose.
Yeah.
The divine masculine supports the divine feminine. And I think tonight we're going to really get to enjoy that.
Go play with the divine masculine.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes, can't wait. Can't wait to report back too.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Goddess.
Thanks,
Beautiful
Goddess.
journey.
Thanks for being on the journey with us. We'd love to have you as part of the ongoing conversation. Join us on our socials at Sofanya Beauty and join our email community at sofanyabeauty.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.